was going to say, I just imagine Ray Charles on the tennis court just going, Georgia,
Yeah,
Georgia,
definitely.
and then just gets a tennis ball to the face.
Okay, we're good. So, Warframe. I remember that game. I remember it because you played it nonstop for how long of a span?
At least a few months.
Yeah. And
So I streamed on the channel, and before I started playing Siege with people, it was basically how I met a lot of people from the Discord.
Let's see here. How many? We can actually go back through our.
Actually, do you want to know the number?
Let's here. Hold on. Let's.
'Cause I have the time I played.
Well, I was just gonna look at how many live streams you did. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or 19. Okay, we have 19. Miscounted by 1. We have 19 streams on here. The longest one is about 5.5 hours. What's your total playtime in it?
Waiting on it to load.
But needless to say, Nick has played a lot of Warframe. And, he...
Oh, poopy.
Oh, what?
I think... Yeah, sort of by playtime, damn. Yeah, so I didn't realize that if you remove a game from your Steam account, it also removes it from your profile and how long you've played it, apparently.
Ah, okay.
Because I took it off my Steam account because I was like, I'm probably never playing this again.
Fair enough.
So it's not there anymore. But I know it was in second place to PUBG until I surpassed it with Satisfactory recently. So it was close to 250 hours because that's how much I have in Satisfactory. I also have close to 250 hours in Siege. It was a similar amount of time that I'd played Siege. But it's also a game that is perpetually being worked on and never really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And they've been working on it for 10 years and it still really isn't anywhere. I know there's people who really like it, but I mean, I just kind of got to the point where I was like, I kind of want to play other stuff, and I just don't really see the point in continuing to drop time into this.
And that's fair.
Maybe one day if people bring it back up and they're like, oh, it's gotten extremely good now, and it's actually like basically finished.
So basically, you're hoping for a No Man's Sky.
No, not on the same level.
Well, No Man's Sky.
It's more
I mean,
like,
you talk about a comeback. Jesus.
It's more like how World of Warcraft works now. It's like World of Warcraft had expansions and times where it was very, very fun. And then there's a lot of expansions they released that are just not that fun. And so it's like if Warframe ever gets to a good spot where it's fun again for a while, then that's one thing.
So, on top of Warframe, there's also Metal Gear Rising, which...
That's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yes.
Metal Gear Solid is my favorite series of all time.
A game that Nick has played a lot and has played on the channel. And also...
Actually, no, I haven't. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I played Rising on the channel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, yeah.
But also, not only that, but our Maxor reactions, people have just been like, holy crap. Like that's like our best Maxor reactions are to the Metal Gear Rising games, which is pretty cool. But at the same time, it's the two videos that Maxor did to them, which
I noticed, like, even a lot of people who haven't actually played Metal Gear Rising, they still are all about the soundtrack because it's got one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Let's see, Metal Gear.
It was one stream. I beat it in one go.
Well, no, I was looking at there they are, the Maxor reactions.
Oh, okay.
Jesus. Yeah. In terms of popularity, in the last 6 months, those are our most popular reactions.
Damn.
Look at that, dude. Holy shit. Guess people really like Metal Gear Rising. You know what else people like? Death battles. And every time a new one comes out, people ask us to react to it. Sometimes we do. Well, most of the time we do. Sometimes we don't. For instance, for those of you still asking where is Homelander versus Omni-Man, spoilers. That is why we are not going to watch it. Not for the sake of Homelander, because from what I understand, the TV series is not following the comic books at all. But for Omni-Man, because from what it's showing, they are going to be following Robert Kirkman's comic series to the letter for the main story, and we don't want shit spoiled for us in terms of Omni-Man. What?
Just sending a message real quick.
Okay. So, overall, though, we have the death battle here between Excalibur and Raiden, and I guess we're going to see what kind of craziness the death battle crew have cooked up for us. So, shall we?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Wiz, what are you doing in here? It's our day off.
Oh, just conducting some research. I've discovered a Tenno foundry in the process of crafting a new Warframe. I'm just about wrapped. What are you doing here?
Sometimes I have these horrible nightmares and I just wake up here in a cold sweat. I don't even think my car's in the parking lot. But what you're doing sounds way more interesting. So tell me, what Warframe's your favorite?
Oh, a scientist doesn't play favorites.
Oh, bullshit. Our job is the equivalent of banging action figures together. You've got to have a favorite.
Fine, if I had to pick, I'd go with the very first Warframe ever created, the death-dealing techno-organic ninja Excalibur.
You mean he's a cyborg ninja? Like Raiden from Metal Gear?
What? No, they're not technically cyborgs. More like superpowered biomechanical vessels that are unlike anything I've ever seen. Trust me, this is gonna get crazy, so spoilers ahead.
Yeah, just give me the lore already, Wiz.
Long ago in the Origin system, the Orokin Empire discovered the Void, an extra-dimensional spatial realm that allowed for travel across vast cosmic distances.
The lore in the game was pretty
when
cool.
They sent the first colony ship through it, the Zariman 10-0, the Void drove all the adults on board into an insane, murderous frenzy.
Huh, sounds like my first wedding reception.
Okay. The children, though, absorbed the Void's energies, imbuing them with the powers they needed to defend themselves against their mad parents and survive. When the Zariman 10-0 emerged from the Void, the children were permanently changed. They had become the Tenno.
Well, I'm sure those traumatized little whippersnappers received only the best of care.
If only. Instead, the Tenno were taught to use their Void powers to control Warframes through a process called transference. But their abilities were so powerful that the Orokin grew to fear the Tenno and tried to have them destroyed. The Tenno were hidden from the Orokin and put into a deep sleep. That is, until one day, they were reawakened to defend a war-torn Origin system guided by their adoptive mother, the Lotus.
So they're basically sci-fi child soldiers.
Sort of. Though the Lotus does care deeply for her adopted children and has devoted her efforts to protecting as many Tenno as possible. There are almost 50 different Warframes currently out there, each with their own unique abilities and combat styles. But I think that the very first created, Excalibur, is the deadliest.
He's kinda reminded me of someone.
A master swordsman with his razor-sharp skull, Excalibur is an expert at racking up quick kills faster than the eye can track. He's unmatched in skill and precision with the blade, especially when augmented by his unique abilities, like Radial Blind, which releases a flash of light to incapacitate nearby foes, or Radial Javelin, which blasts out a wide burst of energy spears. But his greatest and most iconic is easily the Exalted Blade, a sword of light that can slice just about anything to pieces. You don't get much cooler than that.
Huge-ass laser guns, Wiz. Huge-ass laser guns automatically make you cooler.
Funny you should say that. While individual Warframes like Excalibur may specialize in certain fields, they all have access to an incredible suite of futuristic weaponry, like the Nucor, which can fire concentrated beams of microwaves, literally cooking you from the inside out, or the Glaxian, which halts molecular vibrations entirely, freezing you in place. There are guns that fire radioactive plasma, toxic barbs, or even acidic needles. He has, and I'm not exaggerating here, over 500 different named weapons.
Man, he sounds like a one-man army.
Oh, you think that's
because
crazy?
any of the
Excalibur
Warframes can
call
pretty
that
much
an
use any of the
archway,
weapons,
Basically
so.
a futuristic space jetpack with missiles, force fields, and even the ability to fire miniature black holes.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty powerful.
While Warframes usually battle alongside one another, they have had the occasional head-to-head scrap, where they've exhibited the durability to survive even the most powerful attacks that other Warframes have to dish out. For example, blasts of concentrated antimatter from the Warframe Nova.
Sounds pretty unstoppable, but I think I have someone in mind that might put that to the test.
Okay, do you really want to talk about Raiden? Is that what this is?
Come on, Wiz. Child soldier, half-robot assassin, glorious Nippon steel. It's a perfect match. Raised from childhood to be a trained killer in the war-torn streets of Liberia by the future president of the United States, Jack never knew what it meant to control his own destiny, to live his own life. The only thing he knew was how to kill, and he proved it when he accomplished one of the greatest feats in video game history, surviving the absolute mindfuck that was Metal Gear Solid 2. Legions of angry fanboys be damned. Solid Snake was yesterday's news. This was Raiden. Birthday suit and all.
Too bad for him that
Yeah.
a shadowy extra-governmental body known as the Patriots captured him and turned him into a cyborg for their own complicated purposes. Even after the Patriots' downfall, Raiden struggled to build a life that he could call his own, pulled between his sense of justice and his genuine ecstasy for war.
Well, at least he's got to put his weed skills to work with the weapons he's pulled off the corpses of all the poor souls that dared mess with him. He's got dystopia, a magnetic sigh that pulls you towards your enemy, or l'étranger,
Wow, I think you actually said that right.
which is a convertible staff/whip combination made of arms, plus rocket launchers, claymore mines, EMP grenades, and all his stuff from MGS2. But nothing beats his high-frequency blade he inherited from Jetstream Sam, the Murasama.
I have to admit, the high-frequency blades are marvels. They vibrate at such high speeds that they can destabilize the physical structures of metals on contact, greatly increasing their cutting ability. It's basically robot kryptonite, if that makes sense.
Even with his original high-frequency blade, Raiden could cut through massive metal gears like tissue paper.
And of note, those metal gears were not made of ordinary steel, but carbon nanotubes, one of the strongest materials known to man. The bonds between carbon atoms are incredibly strong, which means that the tensile strength of carbon nanotubes is greater than even the toughest metals, like titanium. Using the high end of potential shear strengths, slicing clean through a building-sized Metal Gear ray would require an energy equivalent to, at most, 100 kilotons of TNT.
And the Murasama is red, which makes it even cuttier. How else would he have had a chance against our Lord and Savior, Senator Armstrong, and his nanomachines, son? Unlike those
Nanomachines,
beltway
son.
pansies, this hoped-out Ayn Rand can hit the ground so hard it splits lava. He was somehow a vastly more difficult boss than the stadium-sized Metal Gear Excelsis Raiden tore to shreds minutes earlier. Don't F with this, Senator.
That is, unless your nickname is Jack the Ripper.
Raiden spent years fighting for justice and denying who he really was inside, and it took his battles with Desperado enforcement to finally realize it. He's a killer, plain and simple, and he lives to test his skills against others.
When he enters Ripper mode, any last shred of inhibition leaves his body, and his strength and skill skyrocket.
And that's exactly what Armstrong saw in Raiden. Living proof of his philosophy in action. Someone who pulled themselves out of hell with nothing but their determination to survive.
But Raiden did not see it that way. Just because he had to fight for survival doesn't mean the whole world had to. And it was only through an act of generosity from Raiden's slain rival, Sam, that he managed to win.
His sword may have been a tool of justice, not used in anger, but the Murasama wasn't that sword, and with it he ended Armstrong once and for all, and lived the rest of his life on his own terms.
You know, they talked about cutting up the Metal Gear, but they didn't mention absolutely just suplexing the Metal Gear.
Yeah, that's an enormous amount of power.
He's not only got the sword and stuff, but he's very, very strong.
He's a very strong boy.
He's strong.
We're just shooting the shit, but Raiden would definitely kick Excalibur's ass.
You've got to be joking. Maybe I didn't sell it well enough with my spiel, but Warframes like Excalibur are unbelievably powerful, on a whole other level from cyborg ninjas like Raiden.
Oh yeah? We're in the lab, we've got the research done. Prove it.
Okay, the Murasama is impressive, sure, but Excalibur's futuristic arsenal is hundreds of years more advanced and leagues more varied. Raiden would just be overwhelmed.
Excalibur may win in quantity, Wiz, but quality is what matters most. And considering his weapons are mostly made of metal, it won't be any trouble for Raiden to melt right through him with the Murasama, especially with how crazy fast he is. Raiden can run up walls and break dance with leggy, mooing robots attached to his feet. He can slice bullets out of the air and even boost his reactions with blade mode, where the entire world slows down to a near stop.
Well, sure, Metal Gear characters like Revolver Ocelot can shoot bolts of electricity out of the air with regular pistols, which is probably around hundreds of times faster than sound. I guess that counts as fast.
Oh, please, that's nothing! Raiden can increase his perception to the point that raindrops around him aren't even moving. That might not seem as crazy at first glance, but he's also able to swing his sword dozens of times, while time is almost stopped. By my calculations, that'd be about 11% the speed of light.
Oh, is this happening? Is this actually happening? You want a calc off, big guy? Then let's go. Excalibur can literally block a beam of light with his sword. Judging by the distance it moved relative to how far the light beam traveled, Excalibur had to have been swinging at 9% the speed of light.
Hell, King dethroned. Look at me. I'm the math boy now.
Look, speed is only part of the picture. Another Warframe, Atlas, was strong enough to smash apart a giant asteroid. Now, Excalibur may not be one-punching asteroids, but he's proven more than capable of wiping out entire platoons of elite soldiers.
But remember, Wiz, you said it yourself.
I feel like if he
Robot
had to, Raiden could
kryptonite.
probably also punch an
Jack.
asteroid into pieces.
He probably could, because
He'd
again,
have to punch it a bunch of times, but I think he could do it.
well, knowing him, he would probably run around on the surface of the asteroid, find weak points, and then start punching. And then he would go to another section, start punching it, and then like the biggest piece, like the core, he would pull his sword out and just.
Needs is one good swing of that.
I want a meteor boss fight, a meteorite boss fight in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance 2.
I think it'd be cool if somebody even just made like a 3D animation of it, like have him like run to one spot, just and have him run to that spot, and then when there's like a crack between the spots, he just fucking takes out a sword, jumps, and just like, pulls down through the crack and just splits the whole thing in half, and then it just kind of goes to either side of the earth somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Excalibur's getting sliced to pieces. You really think your Warframe can take on a pure-blooded killer like Raiden?
Oh, you really think your cyborg ninja can take on a ghost soldier from the future?
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Forever a mystery.
No way to determine a winner.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh yeah, I could definitely go for a beer right now.
No, you idiot. Let's settle this the old-fashioned way.
Oh, and yeah. It's
Time for Death Battle! Who you got?
I'm biased towards Raiden, but I think that he's right that the Warframes are too advanced and alien technology and shit. And I know he's not as fast technically, but I also wonder if his light sword thing couldn't just chop straight through Raiden without, him even being able to block it. I'm not 100% sure how that works.
You're pulling for Excalibur?
I'm not really pulling for
Well,
Excalibur.
not pulling, but...
I think Raiden's a cooler character than the Warframes, but I just kind of have a feeling that Excalibur has a pretty good chance of winning.
Okay,
It's really hard for me to pick on this one. I'm just going to go with Raiden for the sake of my bias.
Okay.
I love Metal Gear Solids.
Okay. I'll pick Excalibur because, we'll see what happens, but in terms of it, I think, again, the future arsenal that Excalibur has at his disposal will probably be the edge. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But anyway, so we have our picks in. One for Raiden, one for Excalibur. Let's kick it.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Warframe, but let me ask, Wiz, what?
Yeah, we know. Warframe, you want us to play it, but, one of us has already played it.
Full ninja prowess on the battlefield.
Okay, no. That 3D printer.
Doctor, are you seeing this?
Yeah, that's the
Tenno, an
thing
enemy
that
is
the
ahead and that
Tenno
fountain is
used to make
crafting a
new
Warframe.
equipment.
Huh?
It's the thing that Tenno used to make new equipment. It's kind of like a really advanced 3D printer, yeah.
Ooh!
Straight to the point. Metal freaks like you usually got a monologue first.
No real monologue to it.
He sounds a lot like his original voice actor.
I guess
Sword,
like
it's weakening yours.
I think that actually might be the Lotus's voice actress too. Since they sponsored the episode, they may have got her to go do the voiceover for this.
maybe.
Infinite ammo.
Yeah, that's true. He never really had a problem with ammunition.
Yes, I'm in. Mr. Raiden, sir, or can I call you Jack? Big fan.
Who the hell? I'm busy here.
Not now, Boomstick. Damn it.
Wait, just listen. You'll never expect your secret weapon.
All right, listen. He's definitely hiding in the cardboard box.
Get out of here.
Oh! See what you get for listening to Wiz? You get shit on! Uh-oh, jetpack.
Dude, what is this music they're playing? This is kick-ass.
Doctor, it's time to let her rip.
Oh, Jack the Ripper.
This is why I fight. Survival of the fittest. The rules of nature.
Oh, shit. Oh!
You're not done yet. I'm searching your Warframe's power systems.
Ooh. I saw that.
Excellent work, Tenno. Now for the foundry. Oh, it's finished.
KO!
Chalk one up for the Calc King. The Math Boy is back.
Oh, infinite ammo, Viz. He had infinite ammo.
Sure, and
Doesn't
yes,
matter
it is
if you can't shoot the
100%
Warframe with it.
canon, but there was a lot more going on here that eventually gave Excalibur the win.
I guess so. Both were super skilled swordsmen and ninja, and their speeds were almost even. So the fight was ultimately gonna come down to whose tech was better. And I've gotta say, it looks like Excalibur just had a lot more to pull from.
Warframes have access to an absolutely absurd amount of varied weapons. Despite Raiden's unique armaments, they were never going to stack up in sheer quantity. And consider specific guns like Glaxian, which can halt molecular movement, a direct counter to Raiden's high-frequency blade. While Excalibur may not always be carrying it, every Warframe is proficient with each of their over 500 weapons.
One blast of that, and Raiden might as well be working with a regular slab of steel. Excalibur was way stronger too. Sure, Raiden could cut through giant Metal Gear rays made of carbon nanotubes, generating up to 100 kilotons of TNT.
But not as much as Excalibur. Another Warframe, Atlas, was strong enough to smash apart a giant asteroid, meaning it would have to be at least 6 kilometers across, just like the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. Now, Atlas did not completely halt its kinetic energy. By exploiting fissures within the asteroid, he was able to pulverize it to dust.
That means his punch had to hit with an energy of at least 46 gigatons of TNT. Sure, in canon, Atlas is stronger than Excalibur, but they fought and defeated similar enemies, so Excalibur would naturally have to be somewhere in Atlas's ballpark. Even if Excalibur only possessed 1% of Atlas's strength, he'd still be nearly 4,000 times stronger than Raiden. That's pretty
Damn.
consistent with the energy output of Nova's anti-matter blast, too. Warframes are just that tough.
Furthermore, even with the high-frequency blade's unique vibrating ability, it cannot cut through everything. Raiden's original blade actually shattered against Armstrong's super hard skin, and required the stronger Murasama to finish the job. Against a foe vastly more durable than anyone Raiden's ever faced, it's unlikely the Murasama would score a kill in time.
Even if Raiden got enough hits in to break Excalibur's shields and eventually land a fatal blow, the Tenno operator piloting would still survive unharmed.
Raiden put up a valiant effort, but Excalibur's absurd arsenal, impressive durability, and raw power put an end to the silver-haired swordsman.
Excalibur had the metal and the gear to make Jack R.I.P.
The winner is Excalibur.
That's
Told you
actually,
so.
I mentioned this to you when you were like, have you heard about what the death battle is right now? And you asked me if I had heard about Warframe versus Metal Gear. And I was like, well, the thing about Warframes is that they're not actually 100% like alive. They're sort of like remote controlled, vessels, I guess. And therefore, were Excalibur to actually be killed by Raiden, the Tenno operator could just switch to a different frame and continue to assault him.
Just
so,
keep fighting.
and I believe with as many frames as they have, it would be a battle of attrition for Raiden, and eventually he'd fall.
So that's the name of the song. The Metal Lotus was the name of the
That was kick ass for sure.
by Theirwolf Media. Damn, hold on. The Metal Lotus. Theirwolf Media. So yeah, basically that's.
So they composed it for that episode.
They compose. Well, it's been around. Let's see. Yeah, apparently so. Damn. Okay. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I can't believe that. Yeah, that's actually really cool that they composed an entirely new song just for that death battle, and it actually kicked ass.
For sure.
That was a good death battle. I mean, it went. It basically went the way we both thought it would. Even though you picked Raiden because you have a much greater tie to the Metal Gear franchise than you do Warframe.
Yeah.
We both sort of expected Excalibur to come out on top, unfortunately.
Pretty much.
And I picked right because I guess I just wanted to be on the other side of the fence from you on this, because I love Metal Gear Solid, but and if I had to pick a franchise that I enjoy more, I mean, my limited exposure to Warframe versus the years of Metal Gear games that I've played. I mean, yeah, I just feel like I have more of a tie to the Metal Gear franchise as well. And I guess
the one thing I liked about Warframe for sure was like whenever it did get into the story elements of it, they were badass. Like I remember on stream, a lot of people were telling me like, "Oh, you're getting close to this part," and they were all really good about not spoiling exactly what was going on,
good deal.
And whenever I got to those parts, it was always something really epic. And pretty much, I don't know. I wish it was a game that had more of that, but after a point, it gets to where it is an absolute grind fest to even continue going along the main path. So I just sort of fell out of it,
As you do. I mean, it happens to the best of us. All right. But,
Plus, I got a fuck ton of other games to play, and I'm trying to work on this.
well, either way, we have to move on from here. That was the death battle between Raiden and Excalibur from Warframe. So if you all enjoyed and you want to see more from Death Battle, click their name in the title of the video. If you want to see more from us, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
We'll see you later, everybody. Peace.